us what is it that you do? Like, what you've got this big project going that's going to be amazing, a documentary actually by called Black Business LA. Can you tell us all about that and everything else that you do?
Wow. Well, as far as Black Business LA, it's really a snapshot of Black business success, along with the stories that goes along with every obstacle, right? That Black businesses go through in LA. I mean, I know this is applicable to, should I say, Black society in general around America, but we're talking about Los Angeles and how, should I say, the economic landscape is there. And as far as me, yeah, yes, I'm a film director and a journalist as well. I have my own company, Renner Squad Industries LLC, in which we produce multimedia and one of our specialties, of course, is documentary films, actually. So that's
Okay.
from the things we do and what I do and what the documentary series is about.
Okay. So, what really made you want to do this? Like, what put this on your heart for you to do?
Well, all my life, growing up, being a black man, growing up, should I say, on the East Coast in Washington D.C., you know, I've seen the economics work against black people all my life. I
Right.
didn't have the words, or should I say, I had the visual representation because I saw it every day, but I didn't have the words to sort of put this together in a way. So, going through broadcasting school, getting my degree in media arts, one of the things I wanted to take on was to be able to, should I say, accurately in a visual way depict what's going on with the economics in Black society. So that type of, shall I say, background or experience led to Black Business LA.
I think that's a great motivation and to take on what you're doing in sense is a responsibility. It's always a good thing to show our people in a positive light and give them their flowers and recognition as much as we can because we don't necessarily get that like we should when it comes to the more positive things in life. I mean, we get all the accolades for all the buffoonery and foolery. If it's
Facts.
foolery, if it's buffoonery, if it's ignorant and probably disrespectful, we gonna get credit for it. But how often do are we seen in a light that is positive? I mean, because there are people that act crazy or not even crazy, but they're irresponsible or whatever way you shun them. They have those same people in every community. But we have a lot of positive things to show. So I'm just grateful that you are taking the time to highlight that. I think that's great.
Thank you very much. And it's definitely not easy because, you know, to make, for one, it's a challenge to make Black empowerment palatable in a way in which people can digest the information that's given. That's one challenge. And then the other challenge is making it entertaining enough so, from an attention standpoint, people are engaged, actively engaged in terms of the information that's being given and the visuals that they're seeing. So, it's a lot of obstacles and that alone and trying to tell the stories of these great black men and women out here
Right.
despite the economic challenges, they're looking at generational wealth, they're looking at business ownership, they're looking at how can we make gradual change in which every one of us can benefit.
Right.
Indeed.
All right. That's awesome. I mean, you hit something on the nail here, the nail on the head rather. Um, when it comes to reality TV, I mean, or a depiction of reality, film,
Yeah.
documentary, you know, reality show, whatever. Um, in as much as you want to keep it, I mean, you're telling a story, you're telling good information, entertaining, but so many people need a sense of drama,
Mm.
So not to suggest that the way you would have to do it would have to be ratchet drama. I'm not suggesting that in no way, but it has, we don't need But I am suggesting that you do acknowledge and realize that there is a form of entertainment that would be desired to get the overall picture and message across.
Agree. And
Okay.
and like I said, once again, and that touches back to what I was saying before about making black empowerment palatable, so it can be good for everyone in black society, because we have a lot of variations of what people would consider entertaining, or what they would even consider drama. And you mentioned drama, which is true, because I mean, drama is one of those things that we see play out all over black society in many forms. You know what I mean? For instance,
Mhm.
there's drama in uh, just trying to get, just for black people to get reparations in America. There's
Mhm.
drama in, for instance, in the should I say, the income gap, in terms of black people being behind in every single economic category in America. So there's drama everywhere in terms of our story, and how we move in this country, how we navigate in this country.
Exactly. One of the things that popped in my head as you were talking, life, and you might not agree. You don't have to. Anything I say, you don't have to agree with. But
It's
these
all
are
good.
just how I see it.
Right.
Life is theater, and the earth is
True.
our stage. So, to some degree, you're gonna have drama in life. I mean, you're now depending on the type of tip you be on, depends on how much and what type of drama
True.
you're gonna be dealing with. And some people got a whole lot of drama, and it's crazy because they don't understand why their lives are so chaotic. But when you just take one piece of the show, one player out of the show, the whole play changes, and people don't understand it. It be just the little changes you can make, and that's what I mean by taking the player out the game. Just
Facts.
make one change, and your life can change. They don't understand how much control they have, and they don't understand that to a degree they desire this type of drama because they're
That's true.
attracting it. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Oh,
sorry, I don't mean
100%.
to get all extra on you.
No, that's not extra at all. That is a valid point, because our own drama has become my entertainment. You know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
and I mean, if it's not the reality shows, which gives you that soap opera feel that a lot of us like to indulge in. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm exempt from any of this, because there's shows that I like. You know what I mean? That a lot of people probably don't like, or do like. Well, I guess a lot of
Mhm.
people do like it because they're still on air. So clearly, there's an audience for it. But yeah, our drama plays out into entertainment all the time. I mean, we see this happen on live streams all across social media, don't
So true. Oh my goodness, isn't that crazy? I do
we?
want to touch on that since you brought that up. And it could be my age gap. And then I want to ask you if one of these reality series do you like? and you,
Okay,
and if you don't, then it's cool. Then we'll just laugh and keep going. No harm, no fault.
for sure.
Um, I want to ask. I guess I'll ask that first because I got to remember what I was about to say. Um,
Okay,
is any of those reality shows Fear Factor?
I used to watch Fear Factor back when Joe Rogan was the host. I think back then. I don't
Okay,
know if he
okay.
still is today, but I used to watch it. Yeah, that's a good show.
Yeah, yeah. Man, so many shows. That one thing about reality TV, and I think people
Mhm.
discount of how we got into it. I don't watch it as much anymore because at this point it's just like, oh, you know. Now I'm saying that I remember what I was about to say, so I'll get to that too. But
No worries.
it started off like just a little. It started off with okay, and it had a little bit of just maybe a pinch of ratchet activity in there. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't too much to where you would protest it. Right? That's
No,
how that's how reality TV started off. You know, like I never really watched the real world. But you had that, and you had I remember stuff like The Bachelor, Bachelorette. That stuff still's
Hmm.
going on.
Still going.
Um, Top Model, and then you would get into your house. No, no, even before the Housewives, Ray J, Flavor Flav,
Hmm.
all of that was going on, and then
Hmm.
actually my husband and I were watching those things. Now, see, he won't watch reality TV now, but we was watching For the Love of Ray J together. Now, I don't know about the man with the clock. I can't think Flavor Flav.
Flavor
I don't
Flav.
know about who I was watching that ridiculous mess with, but I do remember watching For the Love of Ray J. And so with my husband. And so after that, then you get into your housewives, and then it's amping up. Basketball wives, okay,
Of
it's
course.
amping up. Atlanta housewife, so it was a process, and people kind of strung along that process. And before you know it was like, what the hell? What am I? This is crazy. Like
Right.
who wants all of this drama in their lives, for a paycheck, and people getting on live, like you say, getting on live, and then we know all the ignorant ass drama. It's like,
That's true.
why y'all turn the camera on? It's almost as if they be like, lights, camera, action. You ready to act a fool? I'm ready. I'm hyped up. I prepared
Of
for this all
course.
day in the
Right.
mirror, and it's like, but anyway, back to you. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
This is an interview, but I try to keep dialogue as well, not just be a robot. Like,
Understood.
so next question. Um, but yeah, back to what you were saying. I'm sorry.
It's all right. This is good.
I try.
But oh yeah. But in terms of the reality shows, some of them are useful. Some of them are entertaining. Like you mentioned, Fear Factor. Um, I don't know about The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I don't know what good could come out of that per se. But like my wife and I, one of our favorite shows is Married at First Sight, and I like that show a lot because there's a lot of gems there. You get to see, uh, certain dynamics and relationships play out. Be it communication, be it conflict resolution, things like that.
Mm.
These are a lot of high end concepts that they uh, have take place on the show. So some of these reality shows aren't necessarily bad per se, in terms of the messaging at least, and then some of them are just outright crazy, as you mentioned.
So, yes. Now, I know when it comes to a lot of people or in our community constantly complain about support, help,
Hmm.
and I don't know. Like, for example, I would need help, but I didn't have it to where I'm people on payroll. We're trying to really
Right.
solidify something. We got to get the ball rolling. And long story short, a lot of people aren't necessarily there. They want their money instantly, and they want to shine overnight. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course.
And it's a process. So I'm asking, after saying all that, how did you find? What were your like trials when it came to support, or were you blessed enough to get some?
Well, well, I'll say this much: is I've been doing media for just about 20 years.
Mm,
In some shape or fashion, I've been involved in media, and the support in terms of building the platform, that is always going to be a challenge. Because when you don't have certain machines around you, like for instance, if I come out with a podcast and I'm not on, say, iHeartRadio or something like that, right?
mhm,
Without that promotion machine behind you, it's hard to garner the support on a, or should I say, a national stage, right? So you
mhm.
start with people in your community. You start with your friends on Facebook or friends on social media, and their friends of friends become your audience, right? So in
I do
terms
agree.
of the process of building a platform, that's always a challenge. That's very hard to do. And then, the transparency of it all, where you have people, what are they listening to you for? Are they listening to
Mm,
induce an argument? Are they listening because they actually enjoy your show? So you have different dynamics of audience in terms of who's listening or who's trying to say viewing your show or platform or not. So it's always a challenge. The challenges,
Mm.
exist no matter what your subject matter is. It's just the reality and how media is disseminated.
So when it comes to you made a good point. You start with your family and friends and people in your community, and they're attached to people and so forth. And that's definitely the ideal um, foundation for support. And then it would, go outwards. Then other people would begin to see it. It would expand.
Of course.
But I see a lot of people also complain that it's their family and their friends that are not that supportive, actually. So what do you say to that?
Well, I mean, I was gonna throw some Jay Z quotes out there, but I won't. I'll just stick to what to
You
my
could.
own. I'll put it in my own words, as they say. I won't use Jay Z's lines, but haters are everywhere. They come in all shapes, form, and fashion. You know what I mean? As
Mhm.
far as family goes, you gotta look at it this way. Like in my family dynamic, and I'll put this out there. You know, I speak from a more of a should I say conscious lane, as they say, or woke lane, as they say. Not everyone
Okay.
in my family is in agreement or think in accordance of that, right? So a lot of
Right.
things I may say could be taken different than what I intended it to be.
Right.
And so you have that aspect of it. So family may not support you. You know what I mean? In a terms like, for instance, if I make a platform that's specifically about, I don't know, I would say black disparities in America in terms of income or whatever, you know, people in my family may look at it that way and say, well, why is he talking about that? All these things we could talk about, hip hop, you know, whatever the case may be, food, whatever, why would you talk about that? So not everybody is going to agree with the subject matter you set out to have for your platform, and that could be family or friends.
That is so true. And also, you just have some people, seriously. I think we make the mistake of believing because we are connected to people by blood, by DNA,
Hmm.
that they, one, have an obligation or owe us something, or two, some people are just indifferent. It don't, family or not, they are ornery. Like,
That's
they
true.
don't want to do it. They ain't going to. They're argumentative. Anything you come up with is wrong just because, hell, you came up with it and they didn't. You just got some people like that. It goes deep. Their refusal and protest and rebuttal is beyond your understanding, or even more than you can give. You don't have that energy to give. You don't have that to do. So it's just like, I think we have to understand that people are people, related or not, and some people just, it don't have to be just you. It could be everybody. They are anti everything because they're miserable, and we
That's
gotta
true.
accept that too, and be cool with that. And don't feel obligated to people. You treat everybody kind. Give everybody, show everybody loveness, but don't. I mean, show everybody love. Sorry, but don't give people preferential treatment because they don't do that. Your job is to just show love and be good to everybody you can, and people that ain't receiving it, you good,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly. And then our mindset too, because because you have a show that's booming and you have a lot of people who love it, someone will lay claim and say, some people might lay claim and say, well, she stole her material from me, and why is she
Mhm.
doing this and doing that? Or for instance, you're in your lane operating, doing your thing, and someone else is trying to do theirs, and automatically they see it as a competition thing. Whereas, well, why should I have her show on Thursday when my show is on Thursday? You know what I
Right.
mean? So sometimes it just comes down to ego, and we have to check
You do have to have that ego, and sometimes the ego is on the slippery slope to insanity because, dude, it's just not that serious. Really, I
that.
mean, whatever it is that you do, you chose to do it, or maybe you were strongly led to do it. Either path, either way, please do the best at it. and just worry about yourself and leave people alone. What?
Exactly.
People be on that tip. Mm-mm.
Yes, they do.
Yep. But I mean, what you say is just is true. It is so true. But I do think it's important to note that we have to realize that supporting one another is how we get ahead because we are interconnected.